Shout out to my new subscribers. Thank you for the chance and opportunity. This is going to be another quick. This is end time prophecy. At this channel, we talk about a plethora of different topics. The red heifer has been sacrificed in the state of Israel, because it's a difference between the state and biblical Israel. The red heifer prophecy refers to a belief that the appearance of a flawless red heifer is a sign of the end times, specifically for the rebuilding of the third temple in Jerusalem. This belief is rooted in biblical law, Numbers 19, which requires the ashes of a red heifer for a purification ritual necessary for certain temple services. In Jewish theology, the ashes are essential for the priest to become ritually clean before performing sacrifices and rebuilding the temple. Many Christians view the red heifer prophecy in a similar end times context, while some also interpret the red heifer symbolically as a prefiguration of Jesus Christ's sacrifice. Numbers 19, the ritual is described in Numbers 19, where God commands the Israelites to bring a red heifer without defect or blemish, and that has never been under a yoke. The heifer is to be slaughtered, and its ashes are to be mixed with water to create the waters of purification. This mixture is used to sprinkle people who have become ceremonially unclean by coming into contact with a dead body. According to this law, the ashes of the red heifer are necessary to purify individuals and prepare them to enter the temple for various services, including daily sacrifices. Because the red heifer's ashes are essential for purifying the temple and its priests, the appearance of a flawless red heifer is seen as necessary prerequisite for rebuilding the temple and reinstating sacrifices. The ability, oh shoot, the ability to perform the red heifer ritual is viewed by some as a sign that the Messianic era is drawing near. Many Christians' interpretations re, mm, view the red heifer as symbolic of Jesus Christ. Some believe that Christ's death and resurrection fulfilled in the red heifer prophecy, making a future realistic sacrifice unnecessary for redemption. Okay, let me go here. I got it here. Let me find it here. I'm looking for this video. Where is that? All right, now where is it? Oh, here we go.
We've been talking about the red heifer on this channel for about ago. He was talking about this. First of all, when I first heard about the red heifer being sacrificed, I looked it up. I seen that it said it was a practice ritual. I also seen another thing that they said it was disqualified because that two
This
black
is
babies. So I'm like, all
Isaiah.
right, well, it didn't happen then. Then I seen him on Tim Pool, and I'm gonna let you guys hear exactly what I heard because there's different stories going all around. But the fact that I seen a bag of the ashes, and then I seen the video that he had of the actual red heifer being sacrificed, I mean, it took me back. I'm gonna play a video for you guys. We're gonna go on the commentary right after. Amen. Check out what he said. This is Orthodox Jew Adam King.
This was a big thing over at InfoWars and on the dissident right media for the longest time. The Jew hate media. Yeah, do you have my tweet that I actually put on my... So I basically, what happened, if you want to go to the first slide first before we play the video. About a month ago on July 1st, there was an announcement that they were going to do a practice run of the red heifer. And prior to this, the media outrage that the Jews were going to go do this red heifer, you had these lunatics like Stu Peters and others who were saying, this is going to usher in the Antichrist, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a real big media balagan. It was really a bad twist. So they said that and also the government wasn't going to let them. So what they did was they said, we're just going to do a practice one with one of the 5 disqualified cows. The government said, okay, whatever. They ended up going out, doing a real cow. One of the cow's name was Tikva. They made the offering, and it was a real offering. They did it all by the laws, and I have with me some of the ashes right here, red heifer ashes. It's pretty incredible. The red heifer, the last time that the red heifer was done was over 2,000 years ago.
Wow.
The first time it was done by Moses. The second time it was done by Ezra from the book in the Bible. And that shows you how long the ashes can last for. So a pure red heifer doesn't come about all the time. And
Facts.
In this generation, we had 21 of them that were born.
Facts.
Pure.
Isn't that interesting? 21 red heifers were born. 3 sevens. We know 7 speaks of completion, and 3 of them.
They picked 7 to bring to Israel, and out of the 7, Israel only allowed them to have 5 brought in, and they've been sitting around just doing nothing because the media outrage has been so astronomical about it. But the red heifer people, they fooled everybody, and they successfully performed the ritual about a month ago. Now, in the ritual, you're supposed to have hyssop. I have also hyssop that is from the actual ritual, and also the red heifer ashes, and these get put into a clay jar and then sprinkled on people in a healing ritual. And it removes the impurity of death and allows for people to heal. So since this started, they have been sprinkling on people. There was a man with Alzheimer's who just...
Notice he said it's supposed to remove the impurities of death, right? We know what that looks like in the physical, but in the spiritual, hallelujah, it's also a purification situation.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there's different things that are killing you, but just even the red heifer being sacrificed in the physical, we understand that first the natural, then the spiritual. So, as it says in 1 Corinthians 15:46, so if there's a purification going on the outside, it's also going to come within the spiritual.
Started remembering everything, sight to the blind. There's some real miracles that have happened in the last month since this thing has gone down. But the ashes, just like I have a little bag, there was 10.5 gallons of ashes. And this is only a dime bag full. And these ashes have been disseminated. They're here to stay. They will never be found. So many people have them. And this little bag can power about 10,000 doses.
Power about, makes it sound like really potent cocaine.
Packs a punch, yeah.
This is the stuff right here.
Test it for fat.
This is the. But we could go smoke this after the show. But no, I'm just kidding. Come back from the dead after you do something like that. But I have a video from the ritual, and if you want to play it, I don't know if it has copyrighted music. Can you slide it so people can see the slide? So these are the slides of the actual ceremony being taken place, and that's tikva. And everything was done specifically according to halacha, which is Jewish law. It was a perfect cow, and meaning that it doesn't have a single hair that is not red. And also, it could never have been burdened with work. So you can't even lean a shovel up against the cow. They have to be treated in a very specific way for their whole life. And then the person who does the ritual can never have been in contact with death. So basically, they're not allowed to go to they have to be of a specific bloodline. And what they do was they raise these children in like these elevated homes above the ground, and they never leave the home until they're ready to do the rituals. And that's like how they never come into contact with death. So the priest who did this literally lived in his home for over 20 years before he...
Never left?
Nope. Because he was born to do this ritual.
Wow.
Wow.
And now that it's been done, the Messiah can come.
Okay, so this is you're talking about the return of
Right.
Return of the Mac. Here we
Yep.
So this is the
That's true. So the red heifer has been sacrificed.
What does a red heifer from Texas have to do with the end of times, biblical prophecies, and the second coming of Jesus?
It's in the Bible. It's there. It's already happening. It's like the earth is shaking at the coming of the Messiah.
And you just got back from Israel and you guys did that ceremony, right?
Yeah, I actually have some ash in my pocket.
You brought the cow's ashes with you?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
The first time these ashes have been on earth in 2,000 years.
In order to rebuild that third temple, the first step is the red heifer.
Yes.
There is one big obstacle in all of this. It lies under the Temple Mount, home to the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, two of the holiest sites in Islam. And in the center now of all of this, a gentleman from Texas. He has a story you are not going to want to miss. This is Deep Dive with Sarah Forgani.
Let me get past this.
And when I got up to age 13, 14, which in Judaism is the age of accountability, or bar mitzvah age, I had an experience where I was reading one night, and on my left I heard a voice, and it was Hashem, it was the Lord. And he said, I'm going to use him with the Jewish people. It was out loud. And then on my right I heard another voice, and it said, he's going to be a failure. He's full of lust and sin of all kinds, and he won't be able to help you at all. And so when I heard that voice, it was quite stunning to me. I never forgot it. But the next morning, I didn't go out and I didn't tell my friends about what I'd heard. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone for 30 years because...
Here we go.
Thank you so very much for joining us today. And in our Bible study, we're turning our attention to, perhaps for some of you, a piece of prophetic trivia that you've never heard of if you're a new student of the Bible. But I'm going to be addressing the red heifer prophecy and giving you an update. I saw a viral video this week, and someone had pirated some of our content as a part of that video, and no problem with that. But I saw so many questions on this, and dating all the way back to 2018, once a year, I've done my best to give you an annual update as to where we are in the prophetic timeline concerning the red heifer. As you're about to learn today, this red heifer prophecy that we're going to study, and I'll be sharing some things with you today I've never shared before in any of our updates, but it is directly connected to the building of the third temple, which is connected to the tribulation and the Antichrist,
Facts.
the mark of the
Facts.
beast, etc. And though many of those subjects are better known, there are many Christians who have never had someone sit down and explain to them the significance of the red heifer prophecy. And so we're going to answer 3 questions today in our Bible study. Question number 1 that we're going to open with is, what is the significance of the red heifer prophecy in final biblical events? Question number 2, does a flawless red heifer need to be confirmed or certified before the rapture can take place? That was a question that was just recently sent to me. I've never taught on that. I thought it was a great question, and so if you're listening and you sent that question in, A+. Question number 3 we'll conclude with today: is the sacrifice of the red heifer a type of Christ? The reason why I try to do an update on this important Bible prophecy once a year, and I usually do it about this time, January or February.
Okay, let's get to it.
Providing His presence. Run your highlighter through. It will be taken outside the camp. This is also connected to the prophecy of the revelation of the Messiah promised to them, and again we'll come back to that. Eliezer will take some of its blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times towards the front of the tabernacle. As Eliezer watches, the heifer must be burned, its hide, meat, blood, and dung. Eliezer the priest must then take a stick of cedar, a hyssop branch, and some scarlet yarn and throw them into the fire where the heifer is burning. Then the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself in water. Afterward, he may return to the camp, though he will remain ceremonially unclean until evening. The man who burns the animal must also wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and he too will remain unclean until evening. Then someone who is ceremonially clean will gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them in a purified place outside the camp. They will be kept there for the community of Israel to use in the water for the purification ceremony. Run your highlighter through that. For the purification ceremony. This ceremony is performed for the removal of sin.
Wow.
The man who gathers up the ashes of the heifer must also wash his clothes, and he will remain ceremonially unclean until evening. This is the permanent law for the people of Israel.
This is Numbers 19.
Fire of conviction, I find it thoroughly disgusting that you would use Bible prophecy to motivate people to live ready to meet the Lord. Christ alone should be our motivation to live a Christian life. To which I responded, and I could have given him multiple verses, but I said, read 2 Peter chapter 3, and you're going to find that the Bible specifically said, knowing that these end time prophetic events are going to take place, what pure and holy lives you should be living. The Apostle Paul, the Apostle Peter,
Fact.
Jesus, and I could go on down the said hope, and a red heifer available since the days of Christ. The Mishnah, which is the authoritative written embodiment of Jewish oral tradition, teaches that only 9 red heifers have ever been certified from the time of the tabernacle. That predates, if you're a new Christian, that predates the building of the first temple.
Wow.
Certainly the second temple, since the days of Christ, almost 2,000 years ago. But now, in these last days, we have one and potentially more than one candidate. Those of you who have been following me for years, I reported to you in 2018, August of 2018, that the Temple Institute's Red Heifer program in Jerusalem, Israel, that they had announced that a certified, potentially certified, flawless red heifer calf had been born, paving the way for the establishing of the temple and marking that stage of redemption. Now, when the red heifer is born, there's quite a process for it to be certified, and I'm going to go over that with you in just a moment. But I do want to pause to remind you of something else significant that happened in 2018.
Wait a minute, let me go ahead.
Indication number 1, and these will be on the screen, the red heifer must be absolutely perfect in its redness. Even 2 hairs of any other color would disqualify it. Its flesh, its hooves, it must be flawlessly red. And again, 2 hairs of another color would disqualify it. Number 2, it must be 3 or 4 years old. Now, older red heifers could potentially be used, but younger ones cannot, which is why there can be some misinformation and some confusion on the subject, because a red heifer, and this has happened in recent months, a red heifer is born flawless, but it has to be 3 or 4 years old and still be certified. Though it was flawless at birth in meeting all of the standards, in the course of the 3 or 4 years, if hairs were to grow in, or its hooves, or one of its hooves were to change colors, or the inside flesh of the ear were to change colors, and there could be many reasons why, those certified at birth could be disqualified because it didn't maintain that flawlessness required by the scriptures and by Jewish tradition throughout that time. Number 3, it must be free of any kind of internal or external defect or blemish. And number 4, it must not have been used for any type of physical labor and never restrained by a yoke, not even once.
That's true.
And so there's the dead in Christ, and we which are alive and remain.
So basically, the red heifer being sacrificed is part of biblical prophecy that Christ's return is near. And if Ray Charles can see that this shit is over with, everything around the world, yep, we right there. Like, share, subscribe.